My name is Maureen Taylor, and I serve as state chair of the Michigan Welfare Rights Organization. And let me pull my shirt up so that now everybody can see I got on my orange shirt, which is fire, okay? Sometimes I can't believe that after 150 years, I'm still in this battle, but it looks like I'm still here. Let me tell you about this slave who was on a plantation a long time ago. And this slave got to a point, and this slave said, I cannot take this slavery not another second. And the slave ran off and got as far as the next plantation before that slave got caught and brought back. Then a few years later, there was another slave that said, this is too much for me, and got as far as the next county before that slave got caught and brought back. Then a few more years went by. There was another slave. Already, this is enough. I can't tolerate this bull, not another minute. And that slave ran off and got to the next state. And it kept going like that until finally one of the slaves got as far as Canada and got that slavery thinking and whatnot in his head, or her head, it's probably a girl, and then decided I have to do what I need to do to go back and help some other folks. The point I'm making is that battles worth fighting are battles worth fighting. Now, some of you all, I may know already on this call, and I have a certain affinity toward Westerns. I love Westerns. And I will tell you another story about Ma and Pa Ingalls. Okay? Charles Ingalls was a carpenter on Little House on the Prairie. And Charles got a visit from somebody, came out to his farm and said, Charles, I want you to build me a table and 6 chairs. You're the best carpenter in the area. Charles said, that'll work. Got the little contractual language together, and Charles got, started. It's going to take me 3 months to go cut the wood and shape it and color it and put it together and the chairs. And 3 months or earlier, I'll have it done. Well, Charles worked on it, and just so happened he was able to get the table and the chairs together 2 weeks early. And he put the finished products on his wagon and takes them into the city and went to the storekeeper that made the order and said, hey, I'm here with your table and your chairs, and I'm going to unload these things, and you can pay me. And the store owner said, oh, shoot, I forgot to mention to you that there is a new factory that just got built on the other side of town, and they were able to make my table and my 6 chairs in 6 weeks. So I ended up buying what I wanted from them. And of course, Charles Ingalls, very religious man, jumped on that mother scrunchie and grabbed him by the throat and pimp slapped him 2 or 3 times, and then said, okay, all right, I understand. The reason I quote that story is because a lot of our struggles, not only are we victims of being put in silos, but sometimes we don't understand the economic foundation that tells why it is we're in this rut. We are a class, and some of us are tall, some of us are short. We have different looks, we have different views, but we are the working class. And our class is based on their class, on economics. And how are we able to manage economics? Now, I've explained the Pa and Ma Ingalls story. And today we're focusing on indictment. We're focusing on the word blame. And we should be. Advances in technology, which is something that Kristen mentioned earlier. I was a General Motors test driver and worked at GM for years. And I'm one of the ones that came to my job which was to get in the car, do 100 rotations, big field, and then after 100 rotations, crash that car into maybe 30 or 40 mattresses all lined up. And my job was to see how long it would take, how many feet would it take for me to stop this car, and what were the emissions, that was the computer box, coming out of this car. And there came a time when I showed up for work, you know, with my crew, girls, hey, ladies, what's happening? Guys, everything all right? And visit everybody and went on to my job. And there came a time when I got ready to get in my car and there was this box. And Kristen was right. Pay no attention to that. That's just some stuff we're doing to test. And then it came very quickly that they were able to use this computerized box to test how long it would take for me to stop this car, or for the automatic connections they had put in my test car. It was able to determine how long it would take, how many feet, how many seconds, and it also measured emissions. And I told my crew, hey, look, this is a problem. Something's going to happen, and this is some technology that they're going to use. And, you know, my friends all know they can't get rid of us. Okay. And we got laid off. Big birthday party shows up. I go out there with my badge, and there is where it was an outside track, great big old warehouse. And I went over there and looked in the window, and there was my car going around and around and around. And I went back to my crew and I told them, listen, make certain that you follow the unemployment rules, because you just lost your job and you're not getting it back. And people didn't believe me, but that was some of the beginning of the loss of employment in Detroit. You know, we the home of unions. We the home of blue collar unions. We the head of union organizing across the country. And that came as such a shock because there was so much denial. They cannot get rid of us. And again, we were a dollar short and a day late because we weren't thinking, and we're talking 40, 50 years ago. We're not thinking that these folks, that 10 or 11 or 12 families that own 90% of all the wealth, we're thinking that they're thinking that we're the same. They go to a Christian church and we go to a Christian church, so we must be the same. They go to the synagogue, we go to the synagogue, we must be the same. They go to the temple, we go to the temple, we just the same. Hell no, you're not the same. You're worse than less. You're worse than less. So whatever kind of religious person you thinking you are, because they got the same name on their church as you have on yours, don't be mistaken by that mess, because you're not the same. I'm going to tell you one more story. It's not frustration. I'm just so happy to see so many youthful people on this call. Me and my nose and my allergies are sniffling. And I'm shocked that I'm still in this fight. I can't believe it. I used to jump over welfare benches and chase workers in welfare offices and threaten to pimp slap them and throw manuals. I did all of that. Me and Marion Kramer, if you look us up on Google, what it says is welfare rights terrorized workers. And I thought, hurrah, that was our job, was to terrorize people, to make them see that what they're doing was wrong. All of this kind of struggle that we have been involved in has been righteous struggle. My knees don't work as fast as they used to now. So I'll jump over benches like I used to, but I can throw some words at a person who is trying to oppress my people and make you feel like I just slapped you. I knew and I know the kind of language to make it clear that you cannot continue to mistreat people like you are doing. So as I'm moving into a different role in terms of my struggles against poverty, against hunger and homelessness. A bunch of us went to Washington, D.C. a few years ago to meet with the head of HUD. And at that time, it was Marcia Fudge. And she was very clear. We're still good friends. She left right after our meeting, not too long afterwards. And we talked about how much longer HUD was going to be in the business of housing. And she was clear, and the staff she left, some of our best friends are these same people. None of them work for HUD anymore. And the message was very clear that HUD is no longer in the business of making housing available. And she was right. We've seen it. You've seen it. We live in a country where folks do not revere the importance of people's bodies, don't think it's important for people to not live on the corner, think it's okay for folks. Lady called me today. She was in a terrible accident. She's got 99 days in at Comcast TV, 90 days, and she does not have any health care. And now she's been in this accident, and she wants to know what can she do, where can she go to get some health care. And she's calling me like I have the answer. I did have the answer, but that's the trouble we're in. We're not reaching out to larger and larger and larger numbers of people to let folks know, A, we're in an economic battle, and B, our allies are on this call right now. Our allies are on this Zoom meeting right now. Our allies are all around us. And what we have to do is what was already told us. I'd see that movie, Nemo, but I got my own examples of how we get separated and we get moved around. It's scandalous what's happening in America right now under these criminals in Washington, D.C. and that whole gang. It's criminal. It's scandalous. It's outrageous. But here is where we are. And I'll end my remarks by quoting the masters, my favorites. And I'll start off with, what is that guy's name? Science Officer Spock. And was in a fight on Star Trek. You all know the storyline. Things happen. Spock is in the basement, about to die because he's sacrificing his life for the ship. And somebody tells James Tiberius Kirk, Captain Kirk, you better go downstairs. And he looks around, oh, Lord, what has happened? He run downstairs, and here's Spock on this side of the glass, and Kirk is on this side of the glass. And Spock puts into language what we all should strive for. And what he said was, Jim, never, ever forget that the needs of the many must always outweigh the needs of the few or the one. This world belongs to us. We got the air, we got the trees, we got the water, and it looks like the good Lord is not making any more. This is it. And we got the worst damn people in the whole world destroying everything. And the only message that I can leave with you is that, you know, I'm old enough now to get Social Security, and I got a gold card. So I have money to help folks, okay? Half the people in welfare rates, we have gold cards, and we've got money that we can send and spend to help folks that have better needs than we do. But colleagues and comrades, we are at a point right now where we can't be scared. You know, we're going to live one time, and after that's over with, you're going to have to tell somebody, why didn't you do more? You know, I don't have that problem. I already been promised that the moment I die, I'm going straight to heaven. I'm not talking about nothing else. I ain't got to go to no middle place, none of that. The only thing I've ever asked the Lord to do is to keep me straight. And once I am dead, let me sit right next to St. Peter, St. Paul, and anybody else, so that when people come up to the heavenly gates, I can say, Lord, this lady was the best. This guy was the best, but that mother scratcher over there, don't let that one. I want to help make the selections. If I can just do that, then I'll die a happy woman. My name is Maureen Taylor. I am state chairperson of Michigan Welfare Rights, and I bring you greetings from all of them. Thank you so much for listening to my words.